Mine says, or someone says
Okay,
Doxxing.
finally, mine says live. All
There you
right.
go.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our Unite DeFi Roundtable. I'm very excited to get into these guests with you this evening. Before we get started on everything, it does truly help if you can hit the like and subscribe button. It gets the information that we go over here out to more viewers, and it's really valuable information. And it's a benefit and a personal favor to me. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to do a quick introduction of myself and then pass it around the room, let you get to know everybody real quick. My name is Chris Ginn, Meta Captain. I am the founder of MBC MetaBusdCoin. We are a BUSD rewards token on the Binance Smart Chain and a VR based project. Uh, Brian, why don't you take it over? Sorry, I see you were about to do something.
Oh, my daughter's not feeling good. She just snuck out the room.
Oh, understandable.
Hey, I'm Brian Lawrence. I am the CEO of Glow Token, also known as Glow V2. That's the project name. We are a BUSD reflection token as well on the Binance Smart Chain.
Fantastic. How about Billy?
Howdy, thanks for having me. I am Billy from Bota Token. So currently we've got Bota V2, and we are a BUSD reward token on Binance Smart Chain as well. And we've just recently launched one of our first utilities, which is Bota Swap, which a lot of the guys on here are a part of. But those of you who aren't, the invitation is open, so you can talk to me after the show. We've got the Bota Swap, which we've bypassed the slippage on, which is really exciting. So it's not auto slippage. We've actually managed to bypass the slippage. So it's something that everyone's enjoying. We know the guys, the communities, and everyone that's already listed are really strong. We've had a lot of buyers come through there, so everyone's excited about that. And then we've got our sort of 12-month anniversary as of April for basically when V1 started. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the show. But yeah, we've got some exciting stuff coming up for the whole month of April.
We're definitely gonna have to dig into some of what you just talked about. You just kind of dropped drop the mic on that a little bit, and just anyways, Ushua, how about you take it over?
All right. My name is Yeshua Nettles. I am the CEO for ShieldCoin. We are, again, a reflection token, but we are also the only insurance token on the BUS, in the crypto space, for that matter.
Nice. Very nice. Dirty Mike.
Hey, my name is Mike Paxton from DirtyMikeCrypto, and I've met a lot of you guys before from interviews and doing videos for you guys, and I definitely enjoy doing this very much, and I look forward to hearing what everybody's got to say tonight.
Awesome. Kevin.
Kevin Reamer, CEO and developer at BUSD Buffet, and this will come as a surprise. We're also a BUSD reward token. Our main utility is essentially taking a portion of our tax and using that to buy and sell the tokens to generate volume and rewards on a weekly basis for our holders.
Very nice. Atlas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this awesome roundtable that we have this week. I'm so excited to be here. I am CryptoAtlas. I cover a lot of different crypto projects. Primarily, my main focus is passive income plays, and I am also an NFT artist. The end.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to say my number one love is Meta Captain.
Oh, yeah. I love Meta Captain. Oh yeah, this is also I'm sponsored, so thank you guys for that. And yeah, much love. The beautiful golden locks. You should have your own Disney movie, Chris. There you go.
EJ.
What up, fellas? EJ, Team EverReflect, team lead, and a friend of many of these faces in the group, and soon to be friends to the rest. So
good. Sounds good.
Nice.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you all for those wonderful introductions. I think I would be hard pressed not to just immediately dive into some of these new projects that are on here this evening. Let's just go in order. Glow V2, can you give us a little bit of a breakdown over what your project is currently working on and your immediate utility goals or use case functions?
Oh, definitely. All right. So let's talk about Glow V2. Glow V2 is not only BUSD, we also offer actually two forms of lottery, and we're a charity. So we get a little bit of all worlds. Our, I guess, biggest thing is we're a token that gives back. So everything about our token is literally built to give back. From our taxes, we do 10% in BUSD on all transactions. We have a 15% tax. 1% goes to lottery, 1% goes to charity, the other two for marketing, and one for liquidity. So
What kind of charities are you working with?
It's actually a community selected charity. So, for example, I just got a postcard in today from our last charity, Prevent Child Abuse America, where we are able to donate $8,451 to them last month.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
So that's something your community comes together and votes on through like Twitter or Discord or something?
It's officially on our site now, but we have been doing it through the Discord and through the Telegram.
Okay, very cool. Okay, and like I'm assuming you come up with like a list of a few every single month, and then y'all just vote from those, or is it how many times does it occur? I apologize.
It's actually on a monthly basis. So every month we take a group of charities that the community selected, we vet through them. We come up with a group of 6 of them, or well, between 5 and 6, and then we post them back out for the community. What we like to do is we like to make sure all the charities that are selected are legitimate charities who the money actually goes for the cause. So, for example, Prevent Child Abuse America, I believe 82% of it actually goes to the cause. So that's something we want to make sure of it. Most of the money goes directly to the actual charity of choice.
Well, very cool. See, I did not know that about your token. I'm very glad that I have you guys on here asking these questions. I'm going to come back around over to you in just a moment.
All right.
Billy, same question for you. Can you give me a little bit about Bota token and what your use case and utility is, and anything you're excited about immediately?
Yeah, that's all right. So we are a BUSD reward token, and I think a lot of us are. And we do that through buy and sells, as most tokens are. And we've been around almost 12 months, like I said earlier, with the V1, but we switched to V2 in September of last year, which is when we started our BUSD rewards. So that's been really exciting. We've just recently launched our first utility, which did take a little bit longer than usual, than expected, I should say. But because we had to custom build everything, we've now got Bota Swap. So with Bota Swap, we've managed to bypass the slippage. It still goes through Pancake Swap, but you don't have to fiddle with the manual slippage on buys. So what it does is just makes it super easy for people just to buy tokens. So instead of, most projects, owners and managers, CEOs will know that the biggest headache, pardon me, is when people come in and they say, I can't buy, I'm stuck. They have all these issues. And obviously, as a project, you want people to be able to transition as smoothly as possible. So if they really want to invest in your project, invest in your token, well, that sort of, even that 30 seconds, when someone comes in and they get stuck and they can't buy, they can just walk out the door,
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I come back from, like a old retail background as well. So if you don't notice someone within the first 5 seconds of walking through that door and acknowledge them, you've lost them. You've lost about 90% of their interest in your business, right?
Okay, so what you've done right now, Billy, I'm sorry, but you've set yourself up for some pointed questions real quick. Yes, I apologize, but I'm sorry. This is how my brain works. So your swap, the Bota Swap, I'm actually listed. NBC's listed. I think a couple of us that are on this panel are listed on Bota Swap. I love it. I love you guys. But in theory, how is it helping facilitate the actual initial transaction easier than something else? I'm sure you actually have an answer, but I am curious. Versus like your Pancake Swap.
Yeah. Well, so it works a lot smoother. A lot of times people have issues with PancakeSwap. I know even on PC when you connect MetaMask, sometimes it gets stuck. The other thing with PancakeSwap, it actually has a front-end limiter, if you notice, when you do buy tokens, where it doesn't allow the decimal points. So PancakeSwap has a flat number. So you'll
Yes.
often notice too when you punch it in, there's no decimals, whereas ours allows the decimals in as well, which is another factor that a lot of these auto slippage ones like PooCoin and Bogged and stuff like that, they don't allow the decimals, right? So at the moment, we allow up to 4 decimal points. Our devs are working on adding an extra 4 to make it 8, because we've had some people get hang-ups on trying to sort of spend their entire balance. And so when you get the decimal point stuff, and that's just all a front end thing, it's probably something that a lot of it, I guess, like, normal crypto audience probably doesn't quite understand. So we won't get too technical with that. But that's just something that we have as well. So again, it's just making it easier, faster, smoother. What you'll find too is sometimes gas fees can be less than PancakeSwap. Now, I'm not going to get into the argy-bargy of what PancakeSwap does, but over the last sort of since 28th of February, we've been testing it prior to that as well. But during the lifetime the swap's been out, we've noticed that the gas fees are quite cheaper. You get more tokens for money, right? So for your BNB trade, you actually get more. Now, people have also questioned liquidity fee. So PancakeSwap says they charge a 0.17 liquidity fee.
Well, before you even get into that, because we're going to focus on that minutely here in just a minute.
Yeah.
So don't worry. We're going to circle back around to that liquidity fee question here in just a minute. I am going to kind of move things along, but yes, we will circle back around specifically on that liquidity fee for sure in just a moment. All right, sorry, Ushua.
No worries. So, I'm the CEO for ShieldCoin. ShieldCoin again has 2 main flag utilities, and that's our crypto assurance and it's our coin risk rating. The crypto assurance is designed for maximum investor protection. It allows investors to get as much protection on their original investment as they desire. And we did that really because we wanted to find a way to combat scams and people starting from zero once they've had a loss. And crypto assurance, I think, was the best way that we found to actually address that. People can have insurance protection. They can get money back and start back at whatever they originally started with. So if you had $1,000, you invested into a project that ended up being a scam or a rug pull, you can get that $1,000 back and restart your investment. That way, people don't leave the crypto space. We're trying to help build it out, keep people here, and that's what the insurance is for. The coin risk rating is a business analysis of all the projects. Some of your projects will be reviewed or be added here in the next couple of weeks. We really use the public information available, though. It's not saying your project is bad or good. It's looking at the business fundamentals. And this is for all the projects that we look at. And we determine, are utilities out? Is the team strong behind the project? And we factor all this into our analysis and we say, okay, this is a medium risk, a low risk, or a high risk project. And once that's done, we post it. The public can see it. It's a free document. It's not financial advice, but it's definitely a good place to start when you're doing your own research.
Okay, so with all transparency for anybody who's watching and listening, I am the dev for ShieldCoin. That being said, I just want to add in that coin risk rating, the basis of that does show what your coverage is. And then, so real quick, Ushua, can you just give me like a simple breakdown of what crypto assurance is?
Crypto assurance is, I get it. Crypto assurance is a risk sharing agreement. The ShieldCoin team says that we'll take on a certain amount of risk with each type of project, whether we consider it high risk, medium risk, or low risk. If it's low risk, we'll take on 100% of that risk with you. If we've decided the project is low risk, 100% of your original investment is protected as long as you hold ShieldCoin and you have the coverage amount for that project. If it's a medium risk, we take it on as 50-50. And that's just because, again, medium risk, it's a little bit higher. It could go either way. High risk projects, we don't encourage at all. So we don't provide any risk coverage. But stay tuned for our announcement on Saturday. There's going to be some changes that will be beneficial to everyone. So,
Yeah, and I am actually eager about those announcements. I think it'll make a lot of sense for a lot of people that might be on the fence about it now that are active in the space. With your project, it's definitely something that is built to bring in those people who are on the fence from like the crypto space in general. And then in particular with the utility offerings now, I think for people that are in the space currently, they're looking for maybe that something extra, and what you're planning on announcing, I think, is exactly what they're looking for.
I did too.
EJ, can you give me a nice little breakdown of your utility and use case for EverReflect?
I thought you were going to ask me about where to get the EJ hoodie, and then I can go along.
We never got an answer to that one.
No, and you won't.
He probably
actually
fast tracked it.
Actually, you dirty one. Well, so our main utility, which I'm the most excited about, to the new guys, I have 21 years in event planning and large scale events, festivals, concerts, the whole bit. So we're merging my love of crypto and our team's love of crypto with NFT tickets. So we're going through that process right now of starting our beta testing, working with Chris as well with the NFT minting. But it will be live event tickets. We penned a couple of deals already. We will be doing the Tango crypto convention in October that's taking place in Orlando. So that's our main utility. Basically, everybody knows that with ticket fees, that there's a processing fee. A portion of that processing fee will in essence be converted into EverReflect buy and burns. So if the ticket's $50, might be $3, but it'll always be straight liquidity, straight volume with a burn function. One of the other utilities that we have had on our roadmap, but we haven't talked about it recently because we've been kind of busy with NFT tickets, was our BSC chart. So we have been working on the BSC chart. Noodles and a couple of the other team members behind the scenes have been doing some just brilliant work. We have some team members that are some unsung heroes that put in time day after day. And
Dude, Noodles is my hero. Like Noodles is legit my personal hero.
I mean, he's sleeping. He's sleeping right now, so he'll be able to watch this tomorrow. But yeah, he's busted his ass like the last 5 days nonstop. So our chart utility will be premiering April 15th. Basically, it's going to be similar to some of the other ones that you see out there with charts, technical charts, with the swap function coming from Pancake. With a bunch of advertising. So that's going to be
Chubb. How did Chubbs get in there?
I don't know.
He's one of the mods in my private group. I think I tried to send a link to watch.
So you've been just sending out this link to everybody. You are dirty.
I am dirty. Yeah, everybody's in the party.
But yeah, so NFT tickets, our BSC chart, April 15th. We'll have some other utility with it. A big component is the digital ad sales that'll end up be also EverReflect buys and burns to be able to get your digital ad. We're partnering with a bunch of you guys to be able to get the digital ads already kind of up and rolling. There will be an additional utility that if you read our white paper that discusses a hiring board. And so that is being built out as well, and also will be live. We will also have our EverReflect shop, so you can buy the EJ hoodie. Just a few other cool things that we're building this chart around something that, in essence, can be utilized by a lot of us that are BUSD reward tokens. So it's going to have a heavy BUSD reward flavor to it, but we're a bunch of projects that are very similar but very different. Our alliance here just shows how much we want to support each other, and you're going to see a lot of that with our chart utility April 15th. So
fantastic. And I'm guessing, I'm just assuming, which hopefully this is right, that you'll end up embedding that into your application for like the NFT app.
Well, we'll end up having a discussion about
Okay, so that's a maybe.
oh, right, because when we think about the ticketing app, we will go through the process of how much is this really going to be involved with trading cryptocurrency.
That's a fantastic point.
One of the biggest aspects that, no offense to everybody else that builds utilities within the BSC bubble, but Chris reminds me of this on a daily. And sometimes I have to reiterate this, maybe even to like our current holders and to the rest of the world. We're not going after anybody else's BNB. We don't give two hoots about everybody else's holders. We're not trying to steal anything within the BSC bubble. We're going for new fiat coming into BSC. That's our only direction, our only goal. We're a utility token that will be used like a utility token that'll bring in fiat into BSC. And it's going to be done through experiences and live entertainment that we love. So,
Nice.
Hey, Billy, can you say something for me real quick?
Hi. Yeah. I just chill out muted so that it just doesn't.
No, you're fine. Billy talks. I just want to let you know, Jeffrey Mercedes.
Oh,
Billy does talk.
Jeffrey, that's my fanboy, mate.
Kevin, can you give me a quick breakdown of the amazing BBFT?
Yeah. Our main utility, part of our taxes, 8% of it goes to a utility we call the kitchen, which takes that tax and it uses it to buy other tokens. There are currently 43 total tokens that we buy in the kitchen. They're a continuous buy throughout the week. And then once a week, we have called a distribution event where we sell a percentage of those tokens, use that to buy our own token and then burn it. It's a double tax transaction. So we're generating volume, bonus rewards, and also injecting some volume into the projects that we have in the kitchen. Go ahead.
I was actually going to ask you about that. Like, have we looked at those metrics yet, specifically for NBC? We should pull those before Friday if we haven't. We could quickly do that with just going like holder list.
Sure.
Put the kitchen in and go from there.
Because
I'm curious to know myself, because I've definitely noticed the volume, but I just don't know what it is. Yeah. But just it'd be cool to have those. Sorry, back on point. Continue with your conversation.
Yeah. So we have the kitchen that does the distribution event on Fridays. We also have a smaller version of that's running on Tuesday mornings. Again, just injecting some volume into the project. Friday, we're going to be starting to take applications for our called the BTIP, the BBFT Token Incubation Program. Kind of like a mentoring program where if there's a new project, they've got an idea for a token, but they really don't know where to go, we'll help them with their contract development, marketing, getting their socials up and running. Basically, let them know all of the details you need to know when launching a project that probably bit some of us in the ass first time we did it. Because we just didn't know. So yeah, it's basically to help projects get out into the space as painlessly as possible. Benefit for us is that the fee for that service will be a private sale allocation that we can move into the kitchen and then grow the value in the kitchen. So they'll be in the kitchen for a couple of weeks with their project.
Okay, very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I can see how that would be beneficial early on too for a project that's like specifically launching out of the gates, not just as far as like actual guidance and development, but being involved in the kitchen. Like kind of having like that baseline volume metric for things like CMC and CG.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Dirty Mike or CryptoAtlas? You've heard everybody give a nice little introduction. If between you two guys, if you could ask Brian, Billy, or Ushua anything that you'd like to know about their projects, I think you guys know enough about good old MetaCaptain and EJ and Kevin by now. But
yeah, we know you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Yeah,
for Brian and Billy, I know the answer for this for Kevin, being I've done a bunch of videos for you already. But for Brian and Billy, being that you guys are a reflection token, what are you guys doing to kind of keep your volume up in down times?
You want to
go first?
They both said, "Do you want to go first?" Let's go with Billy. Let's go with Billy
All right.
first. Give Brian a moment to pull himself together.
That's all right. So I'll make it short, but I'll tell you just a real quick story though, just to begin with. So Brian's actually been in our community for ages. He actually bought in, I think even V1 days. So that's just something that in the community. So everyone in crypto knows each other. I know earlier EJ was talking about like not trying to steal each other's holders and stuff. And it's so true. Like everyone diversifies. I diversify my portfolios with stocks and crypto. I'm pretty sure everyone else does. So there's room for everyone to get involved. Now with Bota, for example, we've got our utility, which is Bota Swap. So that's our first one that's going to help generate volume. So as we were just talking a little bit earlier, we've got fees. So we can take trading fees, which is only 0.2%. So it's 0.05% less than PancakeSwap. So it's a little bit cheaper.
Good.
But our goal is to get a lot of the volume off PancakeSwap through our Bota Swap. And then over time, that'll obviously give us fees that we'll put straight back into Bota token through buyback and burns. And that'll all be taxed. So that'll go through. You'll get your extra BSD reward to that. So that's our goal. But that's only one of the first utilities. So we also have yield farming, NFT marketplace. I know everyone's doing this, but we've got those because you do need to generate utility. We've got our merchandise store, which is external revenue. So external fiat, which we use the 100% profits for to put back into our volume through buyback and burns as well. And then we've just got other ideas in place, again, to try and merge the external real world to get fiat from the real world, but then still have it go through our volume, right? But that's the trick, because a lot of people I talk to as well, like I'm in groups that are like the Forex groups and the cash FX groups and stuff, and they'll throw in ridiculous amounts of money for bugger all weekly returns, right? But trying to convince them that they can invest in crypto, like a reflection token, like a reward token, the only hurdle is because they don't feel safe, right? For some reason, they'll trust a company that will take 50 grand off you and give you $20 a week, but they won't trust the crypto project. So that's another element too that we're looking at is how do you get those people on board as well? You know, because, and no offense to them, but if like, frankly, these idiots are putting in like, 50, 100 grand and earning $20 a week. They're just, but they've got the money to throw around. Yeah. So that's like another target avenue. But anyway, that's the sort of things that you got to do to get revenue, to get volume.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
All right. I've got a question. I've got one for you, Brian, and I've got one for you as well, Billy. So, Billy, I feel like your answer might be a little bit shorter. So I'll go ahead and start with you, okay? So you mentioned that for your guys' swap, you're starting with 4 decimals after the 0, right? And then you're going to look to be adding an additional 4. So that's 8. Looking through your guys' documents, for Bota itself, it has technically a total of 18 decimals. And we do see a lot of projects out there that can get quite lengthy for this. So do you feel at some objective point down the road, you want to get it that deep? Or do you think there comes a certain point where for projects, it just kind of fits into the Goldilocks zone? This is an objective goal that just makes the most sense from your guys' sort of analysis.
Well, the complication with the front end stuff is the decimals. It's all to do with the strings and syntax and all sort of stuff. So that's where you get from the technical side is where you get the hang up. So I'm not particularly sure right now if we can get the 18 decimals in place in terms of what's in the input, right, for the swap. But in terms of size numbers, if you're talking about tokens that have 1 quadrillion supply, which is what we started with, they are insane. They're ridiculous. And they should be, tokens these days should be coming out with less supply. The whole gimmick with that was to make the number bigger, to make, that whole burning sort of gimmick and being like, if we reduce supply over time, we'll get to $1 sooner, right? And that sort of stuff. So that's the gimmick that started 2 years ago. And I think we're slowly phasing out of that too, to be honest. So I think in time, if more token projects come out and not do ridiculous 18 decimal supplies, I think that'll actually fix the problem, as opposed to us having to sort of, combat that internally. And a lot of projects doing V2, V3s even now. So there's an opportunity to reduce the supplies too. Honestly.
I'm never giving up my 18 decimal supply.
And Brian, my question for you, Brian, is that when you guys talk about the charities that you guys are working with, can you give us kind of a step-by-step walkthrough of how that whole process starts from the community putting in their votes? If there's an objective amount once you guys hit this value. Okay, now we're going to actually push it through, that kind of a thing, until the actual delivery to the charities?
Okay, so the first thing that we do from start to finish, first thing we have them put the suggestions for the charity into the Discord. At that point, Adam will actually go through each one of the charities and vet charities and the other team members as well. It's a whole team process because we get a lot of submissions. So we research them, check them out. At that point, we contact the charities to see if they're actually willing to meet with us and accept a check on site. So a lot of these charities, like for example, the second charity, Adam flew all the way to the Netherlands to deliver the check to ECO, the Children's Free Organization.
Sir, you have entered the blockchain.
Hey, Chris, can you go ahead and have us circle back to his answer so that we can get a little bit more clarity once his connection sort of stabilizes?
I just don't know how to pause people. Like,
no, it's fine. I definitely want the community to be able to hear it. I think it's an interesting topic. But
so do I.
With it being staticky during that point, Brian, is your connection a little bit better now?
We can try it. Does it sound any better?
No, it does not.
Oh, man. Freaking internet. Can y'all hear me better?
I thought Atlanta had better infrastructure than that. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, let's circle back around to you in just a moment, Brian. I actually got a question. Ushua, what made you think of coming up with cryptosurance? Was there like an aha moment or anything like that led you to this path?
Yes. When I first started in crypto, especially when I got to the DeFi side, I was hit with several scams, and it just kind of, I mean, it's just frustrating. I make decent money in the real world, so it wasn't that bad for me, but it was still, it got me thinking, like, a lot of people are getting scammed constantly, and this is not what the space was designed to be. And we want to kind of come up with a way that didn't require government to get involved, didn't require law enforcement to start meddling around in DeFi. So we wanted to find a way to help investors get protected or to have some kind of recourse after a scam. That's really that was the impetus for this. And recently, actually, as we were still preparing to launch, the announcement from President Biden about the crypto space and what they wanted to see in the space of investment protection, it really kind of fit with exactly what we were already trying to do. And that just kind of let me know we're on the right track. Keeping the government on the centralized side is pretty much my objective in a lot of ways. I really want decentralized finance to be decentralized. If the government gets involved, you'll tend to get the money will start coalescing only in one or two places, and they'll have a monopoly. So insurance is basically that way for us to argue. We can say we are protecting ourselves. People can choose to have insurance, or they can not choose to have insurance, but it's available for them, and that was really why we started this token.
I love the fact
I ask you a question? Go ahead, Chris.
No, you're fine. I was just saying I love the fact that it's a DeFi solution to a DeFi problem. Yeah. You know, like anytime that like DeFi can fix itself, in my opinion, like that's the way that you should attempt to take that route. So I love it. I'm assuming that Brian is frozen. Yes.
Am I still out?
No, I think
he's alive. He's moving a little bit.
Sorry, Atlas, what was your question for Ushua?
Okay, am I saying your name right? Yeshua?
Yeshua, yeah, that's fine.
Yeshua. Okay, sorry. I have a bad tendency of butchering people's names. I'm sorry. So I'm looking, at your guys' website, and as you guys are on the Binance Smart Chain because of the quick block speed, the low transaction fee, the gas fees, I should say. Obviously, the insurance capabilities that you guys are providing is going to be very valuable to this space, but because there are so many different networks that are out there, as your company continues to expand, do you have plans, or can you even comment on it at this point in time, of trying to find some sort of bridging system to where you can be able to provide these services to other mainnets that are out there?
We are considering that, and again, we've been in discussions, but really, we don't actually have to move over to another chain for them to have the protection. We protect the wallet. So if you have a MetaMask wallet and you just switch between Ethernet and BSC, if you have tokens that we've already covered, you're still covered. You'll just get paid in BUSD,
Okay.
the BUSD Binance dollar. So it doesn't really have to switch over, and you don't have to pay that tax or fee as well. You just have the money in whatever form you want to use it.
I think that's incredible.
Yeah, we're trying to get more of the analysis done because we want to have a 1,000 projects completed. We're going down right now the CerTic list of projects that have been reviewed. And what I've found a lot of CerTic is a great auditor, but it only looks at the contract. It's not looking at business fundamentals. And I have a background in business, of course. I have an MBA, I have a human resource degree. And I have 2 other businesses outside of this. One's real estate, one's insurance. So I look at the underlying fundamentals, and a lot of the projects, even on this call, have real utility. They're really doing something. They're not just saying, "Hey, we have an idea, and it'll come out, 10 years from now." And that's really essentially that's what it boils down to. That's what we're looking for. Can investors put their money in this project and reasonably expect it to do what they're saying they're going to do? We can't say it's going to do well, it's going to 100%, 100x or anything like that. We're saying that the team has a real legitimate roadmap and they're following that roadmap and they have a utility that is actually viable in the space. That's all we're saying. So it's not a ranking of the projects writ large or how I feel about them. It's really what is their underlying fundamentals? What is the financial aspect of it? What is the team aspect of it? And that's just what we're going through. Well, it's a lot of work on the back end.
And a legitimate just risk rating, a legitimate
Exactly.
risk sharing agreement, and what that means to you as a project backer of that risk.
Yeah.
Look, Brian, you're coming in crystal clear now. I can see you touring your house, and it looks fantastic. And it's just crystal clear. And right now, you've got mad support in our chat section. So I think if we can we circle back around to that question for him? I don't even remember what it was. Atlas, do you?
I do.
it's
I
about
know.
charity.
I can see Mike has something that he wanted to say. I don't know if it's going to be quick or not, but I want to make sure he gets his point out.
I just wanted to touch base with Kevin real quick. Kevin, I'm a big fan of your kitchen utility of your project, and I was wondering if you could tell everybody what are some of the requirements and things that you look for tokens to be included in your kitchen.
Yeah, the tokens that we put into the kitchen, there's a formula that we came up with that we call the BRR, which is our BBFT returns rating. It uses data from public APIs, CoinGecko, CMC, PCS, and there's a couple others that I use. But it takes data from up to 30 days in the past, and it kind of runs it through this formula that we came up with that we're kind of keeping to ourselves. But it ranks them all mathematically, gives them a rating, and the rating that you can see on our tools website, it's not a number that is relative to any other token on the list. It's just a number that's based on their performance. So we take the top ranked tokens based on that BRR, and that's how we determine what goes into the kitchen every 2 weeks. So we don't look at the project and think, well, I think this one's going to do well. We take all the emotion out of it, and it's done solely based on math.
Is it mostly reflection tokens, or are you including other tokens in there as well?
Includes everything.
Is there a special code in there for MetaCaptain? If it comes in there, it just automatically sends that token through. We should add that in.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, let's circle back around to Brian real quick. I know Atlas is eager to hear this, and your community is seriously tearing up the chat. They want to hear you. They want to hear you talk, bud.
Now, Brian, I know you just sat back in the same spot. You were kind of frozen there for a minute.
Oh, we lost him again.
Ago.
He's in the blockchain again.
Am I really?
He's frozen now. Yeah, it seems like kind of a little bit of an issue spot there.
You were good in the kitchen, I think.
What's so wild is
you should be hanging out with Kevin,
I just swapped to completely different Wi-Fi's.
I think you need to be 2 steps under the ceiling fan towards the sidewall on the west facing area.
Definitely the sidewall.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
And Chris,
Kevin's
by the way,
yeah, sorry.
I also have a general question that's just kind of an open-ended question for anyone that wants to chime in. I don't know if you want me to ask that right now, wait, or
Ask it right now. Brian's stuck in the blockchain. He's like
Okay.
legitimately just frozen there.
He's done.
all right. So CertiK is a noteworthy auditor inside the crypto space. A lot of people have heard of CertiK. A lot of projects are jumping on because as regular people, a lot of the questions that we typically ask is your project audited? And then is it audited? Oh, who's it by? And then if you say whatever, right, people will be like, oh, I've never heard of that one. Oh, CertiK? Yeah, I've heard of that, right? So there's already something that's kind of there because it just kind of circles around in the community spaces. But do you guys think that we are starting to move a little bit more into a direction where you'll have more credibility as a project if you say, well, our project has been audited by 2 or 3 different providers? Because CertiK isn't perfect, right? They do a great job overall, but there have been projects that have kind of slipped through the cracks for one reason or another. Do you guys think that there's value there of having more than one auditor come in on a project?
I have thoughts on this.
Yeah, I do too. I'll let you go, Kevin, and then I'll jump in.
I think part of it, the audit is great. It all starts for me with the Launchpad and the projects that are being launched in the first place. There are several that are coming out that they're going to do their own vetting before the project can even make it out for the public consumption. I know with Pink Sale, like anybody who decides to throw a contract up there can put it on Pink Sale. People can start throwing money at it. So having multiple audits is fine, but again, anybody can get multiple audits. I think the vetting that's being done at the earlier stages, like what Billy's going to do with his, there's a process to get on the exchange. You can't just have any other token that you want on there. You have to go through a process and prove that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. Like with what I'm going to mess up your name too, Yushua.
Yeah, no, you got it. There it is.
Looking at the projects and giving them that risk rating, that is going to go a long way to helping a lot of these issues. Where, like I say, anybody's contract can pass an audit, but you can still do something nefarious after the fact.
Correct. And what I'll add to that is the 200 plus projects that we've already reviewed have all been CertiK audited. I like CertiK, but having multiple contract audits done really doesn't add value, more or less, because they're really looking at the same thing in a lot of ways. And yeah, CertiK is not perfect, but generally the same red flags are going to come up no matter what audit is done. But that's only a part of the problem, like Kevin said. The other part is really who's the team behind it? What are they actually saying they're going to do? One of the project or a series of projects that I put really high risk are projects that offer these crazy APYs, but they just launched 2 days ago. That tells me from a financial standpoint, it's probably not sustainable, and it's probably going to benefit only people that come in early and get out early. And that's high risk, and that's just how we see it. Again, I'm not saying there aren't parties that can't pull it off, but again, there's a lot of risk involved in that.
And I would like to just say to that point, just directly on like rebase tokens and stuff like that. I don't blanketly say that they're bad and like they can't work, but it's cool to see the experiment in live time. You know what I mean? Like it is cool because like that's kind of what this whole space is about. You know, it's decentralized finance. We can experiment and try different things like that. If you think that economic model is viable, then you can invest in it and you can try that. So it's cool to see that experiment. I personally don't view most of them as viable. It depends on what else they have to offer and to like inject stuff. I'm sorry to take a side trail on this, but there's a lot of talk about rebase tokens right now. And
I wanted to make a comment too, though.
No, EJ.
No.
Give me an hour. Back to the point about the two audits. I think that it can be beneficial. I don't think there's any reason to not necessarily do it, especially if you have the finances, CertiK, right? Like it's the Rolls Royce of audits. But Chris, you said it earlier. What ShieldCoin is doing right now, really, I think what Kevin's doing with BUSD Buffet. I don't know Billy well enough yet, but I can just tell from his talks that he's obviously vetting other projects. Literally, we are answering that question, do you need a second audit, in a lot of ways, because we're all vetting each other. And because we're all looking at each other, we're willing to get on screen, dox each other, make sure that we're having conversations and dialogue. I talk to Kevin and Chris every day. So, and Dirty Mike, and now starting to chat with almost Atlas almost every day. But I'm saying, like, all of us kind of vet each other and our projects to an extent, because we already know that the contract, kind of like Yushua was saying, that like a contract is going to be a contract. A nefarious person can get an audit now, and the good scammers on Pink Sale, you're going to get KYC and you're going to get audits still. It's not going to matter that you maybe you're just a little bit more of a dedicated scammer, because you're going to go through the process to make it look as legit as possible. But I love what we're doing in DeFi by honestly like answering one of those questions, because now we all rely on each other. We're all vetting each other. We're all saying, hey, I wouldn't be able to operate with this token. Or like what we just did with the NCAA tournament. Like, we ended up taking tokens from 10 different projects. There was no way that we were going to take a token that was potentially hadn't launched yet, or a token that was like struggling to like even get out of the gate, that they weren't doxed. Like, we took stuff from like most of the people on this stage, from Nobility, from Brew Labs, from people that we know, people that we trust. And I think for community wise, going back to Unite DeFi, what we're doing is a big factor in like that double vetting process. It's almost like it's a second audit in some ways.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes to the point that all of us are pretty much doxed with our projects. A lot of the older projects didn't have that. And our reputation on online, like my name is all over ShieldCoin. Chris's name is all over it now too. And because of that, we have to be a little bit more careful about who we say is a good project or not. So we're taking that additional effort. And I think that is the second audit, but it's not a contract audit. It's a project audit.
Can I just add to the...
Yes,
sorry,
please talk, Billy, please talk.
So I'm going to be upfront here. So I don't, and hopefully, if Certic's listening, please don't remove our audit. So there's a thing where you can pay Certic to get the KYC badge, right? So that starts to cloud the whole unbiased approach and the honest approach. So there's particular projects now that have this KYC badge on Certic, and they flaunt it around like, ooh, we showed our passports and our business, our company registration, blah, blah, blah. No, they didn't. They paid for it. So this is, so surprise, surprise, everything, money speaks, right? So the other thing too with having double audits, so it's a confidence boost, especially when you're beginning to have multiple audits, but every project should be trying to get at least 2 independent audits anyway when they're building, just as your own sort of, safety net, I guess, because things screw up anyway, right? But with that, people are going to be mindful too. With Certic, they're only big because, and nothing like, so everyone should know they're Chinese owned if they don't know already. But the Chinese company also, I think they own CoinMarketCap, or they're part ownership of CoinMarketCap. So this is where you get into the monopoly, right? And so when these companies own portions of other companies, and like Certic and CoinMarketCap and blah, 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 they have the monopoly, which is why everyone hears about Certic. And yes, Certic is the golden label, the Rolls Royce of audit companies, but it's also because it's manipulated, right? So this is something people are going to be aware of as well. So yes, Certic's great, and it's great for your marketing for your project, and it's great for the trust. But as we've seen, as CryptoAtlas pointed out, is that we've also seen projects get Certic audited and still scam and rug. Right. So, and again, it's if you've got the money, and what scammers do too, again, a lot of them come in with money. So let's say they've made a bit of money on Bitcoin. They got 50K cash, right? That's really easy, quick, easy way to start with your marketing. Get 50K. All right. So put some of that into Certic, put some of that into like a whole bunch of marketing stuff, blah, blah. All right. Get a really good rep on the pre-sale, get it out there, and then rug people of, 100 ETH or something, or whatever it is. And that again is the part of the problem, right? So like, Yeshua was saying too, like we have to be at the forefront as well, and be there as, all right, we're going to have these, create these systems to vet each other. you know, and it doesn't matter if you are doxed or not. Like, that doesn't mean anything to have a LinkedIn profile, because you could just make one. Like, anyone can
Well,
make one.
and I think some of it falls on like the community. Like, for instance, I'm about to talk on something that like is definitely a little bit speculative. I'm sure I haven't done my due diligence research here, so if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I don't care. Matt Wallace apparently recently did something with NFT series, and that went wild. And that, I don't know. Long story short, that's not the first time, nor is it probably going to be the last time that that man's name is attached to something like that in that situation. And again, community, what are you doing? Like, like deplatform this individual. He just robbed you. Like, I mean, come on. But so
Well,
I don't know.
What's funny is this came up in our roundtable that we had last night when we did our live stream. So for those of you guys that are on this panel, Chris knows, but I've got a series of other cryptocurrency YouTuber friends. Every week we do these roundtables, and that was one of the things that was kind of brought up on the spot. Well, we looked it up, and I've briefly kind of followed up with this afterwards. I mean, very, very briefly. It almost looks like he has two separate tokens. Chris, you're mentioning an NFT line. I'm not aware of an NFT line. My understanding is that it's a crypto.
Oh, that's right. It was a crypto. It was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And so one crypto that we had looked up, when we looked at the charts, the whole community, well, one individual in the community that raised the question was like, oh, is this a rug pull? And we're looking at it, and objectively, us on the panel, we were saying, no, it doesn't look like a rug pull. It just looks like people lost interest in it. And it was some, like a Inu kind of named coin, like baby blank Inu or whatever. And that was from it was like a 3 months ago kind of thing. But you saw that over the course of the 3 months that the price had an initial spike up, and then it had kind of trickled down, and then progressively just over time it kept getting worse. But my understanding is that this thing that's just now everyone is talking about is a new thing, and that he had put out a public statement, and he's kind of apologizing and telling people like, hey guys, don't invest into it right now. And for those of you guys that are on my Patreon, if you guys cancel, I get it. But for those of you that don't, like, I appreciate it. I'm trying to work on figuring this out. Like he's trying to do some crowd control, and that's my understanding of what's going on.
No, man. Never mind. I don't know. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go too deep into what his actions are or anything. I need to do some more research before I speak on it publicly. But from what my understanding is, the community needs to put. Come on, Dirty Mike went and grabbed his snake because we're talking about a dog, Mike.
No, Brody's getting all the love. Savannah's got to get involved. She's in the crypto. She's been doing my picks for the Final Four. So
he hears Chris's voice and he gets all fired up. Like, this is the daily thing.
I'd like to acknowledge that somebody in the chat said that Brian's internet got rugged. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Man. I'm glad Brian's not like the CEO for that mining rig system that does 5G internet. I forgot the name of it, but maybe one of you guys.
I know what you're talking about.
Because that'd be ironic. Like, his internet's not working. He's like, my internet. But
I got a buddy that works for them, actually. But
really?
Anyways, yeah. So 1 second. Let's go back. Wait, is Brian gone again?
He never came back.
Let's give him a shot. Let me try and ask you. I know his community is waiting. I know we've been kind of circling around.
Under the ceiling fan. We're good.
So, Brian, my question for you again is, what is the process for the charities that you show support with your project from start to finish?
All right, let's try this again.
Sound good.
Can y'all hear me? To start
you sound good.
Perfect. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right, so the first thing that happens is everybody in the community, they put their suggestions in our Discord. Then they add them in the team. We go through each one of these suggestions. We call them up, we vet them, we go through, make sure everything is legit with them. We ask them, every one of them, if we get a hold of them, if it's possible to come out on site and deliver them a check, because that's something that we want to be able to do, is personally deliver them the check That way we know it's going to a good cause. Making sure that they're legit. I mean, that's number one priority. So at that point, we put it on a ballot for up to usually about 5 to 6 candidates, and the community votes on it. We do one charity a month that we go and donate to, and it's, like I said, picked by the community. There isn't a limit, so it can go up as high as it wants. I mean, it's possible to over $1,000 check one. But I mean, a dream, but it's possible. Now I'm afraid that y'all can't hear me because I can't
can hear
you.
You broke it for a second, but now you're back. The last part that I had clearly got, I think, was like up to there's no limit.
Yeah, so there
then
is
you
no
kind of
limit.
forgot.
It can go up 100,000. It can go up 10,000. 2,500.
Hey Brian, if you can hear me, your audio is really broken up. We're not getting anything you're saying right now. Do you happen to have an Ethernet cable that you can try to just plug straight into your laptop right now?
I think it's all due to the storm that's happening outside.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that does make sense. The storm's rolling through here right now too. So
Let's see.
You're a little better right now. Do you want to try and speak again?
Yeah, let's see if it's working. What I was saying, there is no limit for the charity donations. It can go up as high as it wants. It can go up, if it's possible, it could be $1,000. I mean, all the way up to $100,000. I mean, there is no limit. It's whatever the 1% of the taxes raised throughout the month.
fantastic.
So it's one charity that you choose each month.
It's one charity that the community chooses.
Well, yeah, the community. Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much for that. That's cool.
Can I add in a little plug on that charity note?
Oh yeah.
So just Brian and I, so we're just working on making like a charity NFT with someone else who's quite well known in crypto space. So that's something like, where Brian is, he's like seriously focused on the charity stuff and things like that. So for him to also get their NFT design and be like, hey, yeah, cool. Like I'll get him to help, make something that's going to go towards charity for a particular well-known person on Twitter, but we won't say who it is yet. But that's sort of the passion that Brian has. So I just want to add to that, where Glow from the beginning too, when they first started with V1, like their charity element's been something that they've been really focused on.
Oh yeah.
Is Jeffrey Mercedes your best friend?
Jeffrey, he's been holding since V1, and he has not, like, he's awesome. He's kind of busy with real life at the moment, but he usually does voice calls in our community. But yeah, we've got a lot of like hardcore, long-term holders that just do like mad champions. And that's the community aspect. I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit tonight as well. But that's community, man. Like you just need those people. Your token won't survive.
I love Jeff. Yeah. He's tearing it up.
And to speak on our charity again, one of the biggest reasons, I don't know if y'all know, but we're actually partnered with SafeMoon now. And one of the reasons that they offered us this partnership was because of the charity, because we go out and bet. We do everything that we can to make sure that we, select a legitimate token. We are tying our name to that charity. So, that's one thing that we're big time about.
Question for you about that directly. I never ever give props to SafeMoon, but this is an opportunity for props to go to SafeMoon real quick. Are you implying that possibly SafeMoon gave you a charity token discount of some sort for the listing?
I can't get into details on it, but I will say that the charity was the reason that they reached out to us. I'll put it that way.
Okay,
so to clarify, you said they reached out to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go in a lot of details, just a yes or no on that.
Come on,
I think that's incredible. And the reason why I want to point that out is that as I've kind of talked with different developer projects, and if you guys on the panel are not that familiar with my channel, I am covering heavily on a consistent basis content on SafeMoon. So to find out that SafeMoon is taking opportunities such as this for them to be doing outreaches to projects, I think is some incredible news to find out.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
they have
That's
been actually really great to deal with.
They reached out to us, and then asked us for $100,000.
That's dirty.
That's the part that I was curious about too. Like SafeMoon reached out to me as well. It cost me $100,000.
Chris,
They
did
reached
they
out
reach
to
out to you
rob you.
too?
Yeah,
Is that,
it wasn't like core team, but SafeMoon team reached out to me. I've spoke to 2 SafeMoon representatives. One of them specifically about the listing on the swap, and I took that back to my community, told my community what they wanted, and my community agreed with me that like we're just not at that stage to be able to afford to relinquish that much of like potential liquidity in our own project to just to get on their swap right now. It's just not financially feasible for us currently. I wish it was.
What about the rest of you guys? Kevin, Billy, Yeshua, did they reach out to you?
No, we just launched. We launched on Saturday.
Had a meeting with them, and pretty much the same thing. I went through the whole sales pitch, and then they let us know like their different levels of partnerships that you can. And we look, even the lowest one, we're like, yeah, no.
But they reached out to you.
I do want to say this, that Jonas and Hayden are doing a very good job as far as onboarding for the swap, and those are super nice guys. They respond to emails like that. They're down to have video calls, and I know that's not necessarily the SafeMoon core team. Those are the only 2 guys that I know, but I've enjoyed conversations with them. But we're in the same boat as kind of what Meta Captain said.
Yeah, Jonas and Hayden, they are really good people.
So can I raise this question up for the community then on this subject, Chris? Is that okay? I'm not trying to overstay.
No, have at it, man. This is a roundtable. Anybody has any questions for any of the other projects at any point, feel free to speak up and ask your stuff. I just get excited. I'm a big talker to other people, so
sure. And Mike, I don't want to take time away from you if you have questions as well, just so you know. But as far as for SafeMoon Swap and what they're building out, the price point that they're talking in these discussions with you guys, if they had lowered it down, let's say from EJ, you mentioned like 100,000 or something. If they offered that same value, but if they decide to put it at like 50,000, obviously there's going to be a little bit of this.
I said no
sort
at
of disdain, huh?
No, I said no at 50,000 as well.
Oh, well, I was just trying to use an example of whatever their standard is if they actually cut that in half, right? That's kind of the point. If they cut that in half from the discussions that you guys have had already, would that change your acceptance of moving forward with them? Like, is it the price that's the issue, or is it what's inclusive of the package deal that you guys are like, yeah, no, I don't think it's worth that value?
Price mostly. I don't think that the ROI is there. I would hands down much rather go through Everrise, or in the case of like Billy, like to do Bota swap, because in all reality, you need to have ROI on an ad spend, because it's marketing. It's not because you're going to end up generating a new liquidity pool and it's going to be this massive bonus because it's a liquidity pool on their swap versus on Pancake Swap. 99.9% of the traders out there don't even know which liquidity pool that it would be a different liquidity pool. I think that the price point for what they offer with their marketing package is one of those, okay, you're going to do a tweet and you're going to do a billboard for a week in Utah. And then you're going to pair your own liquidity pool. But think about that as well, Atlas. Like, so you spend the money to do the marketing package, but then you also have to take tokens. You have to pair that liquidity with tokens. So like right now, we just unlocked 5 trillion tokens. If that's worth 20K, you need another 20K in BNB to pair liquidity. Business standpoint wise, I've been doing business outside of crypto for a long time. It doesn't make any sense from a business move when projects are still startups.
What if they offered you like on a monthly basis instead of putting up like that 50 or 100K at once? What if it was like 2,000-3,000 a month?
Yeah, 15K a month. They have a monthly plan.
15K a month, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way too much.
So yeah, to add on to that, and yeah, no offense to SafeMoon guys, they are great people.
Right, they are.
Yeah,
They
I was
have
going
had
to
great
say, you
calls.
know, yeah, they worked with us. Like I said, because we're a charity token, you know, I can't get into details of it, but you know, they supported us. But the biggest benefit that SafeMoon has had is just their community. You're talking about one of the world's strongest DeFi communities right there. I mean, you know, once you get listed with them, once you get to know them, I mean, they open their arms wide open to you. I mean, they invite you into all their AMA shows. They want to talk to you, get to know your project, literally help you with anything that you know, could ask for. I mean, they volunteer their time, and they actually help get your project out there. I mean, they want to create videos for you, expose you. I mean, their community is so strong. That's the amazing part about that.
Yeah, see, if I knew that there was like a video package that was coming along, or if there was other assets from a marketing standpoint, that I think that I think you ended up kind of getting in at that, like you were one of the very first tokens, and it awesome for you guys. And I agree that SafeMoon is a good community. I still hold SafeMoon. I definitely have great contacts with a bunch of people that are in that community. But I also think that there's other aspects and other avenues that sometimes you have to take from a business standpoint if you can't be one of those first entries to kind of get in. I also think that there's a huge leverage advantage that Atlas and I have talked about before. It's not with just their swap, but what it'll mean with their connect when that comes out, and then also a true exchange. And once there's a true BSC, you know, centralized type style exchange that we're all kind of hoping for, that'll allow reflection tokens outside of maybe like the Bitmart, those are game changers. Like all those kind of things, if you're kind of like leveraging some of your assets to be able to take advantage of that in the future, I think it's definitely smart. I think it's something that we'll definitely leverage once we're at a different financial standpoint. And that connect and that centralized exchange are going to be massive, especially for tokens that are already on the swap.
Oh yeah, and I agree with you 100% on the fact that, you know, being a startup or a new token, it would be dang near impossible. I mean, you're looking at, you know, the minimum requirement that they're asking for is, I mean, not technically asking for, but what they would like to say is, you know, 100K in their liquidity pool. So you're looking at 100,000 in BNB paired with 100,000 of your token. That, you know, that's not chump change right there. That's a lot of money.
That's huge.
Sorry. I
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
add to that. Sorry, man. So the community is awesome, but with their, like EJ was saying, on a business side of things, it doesn't make sense, right? It really doesn't make sense. Also, there's particularly tokens out there they've gone the big package, billboards, right? Won't mention who they are. Now, first of all, where's the billboards? We haven't seen them, right? The Utah ones, now again, no knock to SafeMoon, and this is again no knock to the community because the community is amazing, but the guy that I've spoken to at SafeMoon, they're really passionate, they're really awesome, but I don't know what their system is higher up, right? Because there doesn't seem to be much connect, at least from what I was talking and negotiating and stuff about what we could get, right? And then there's higher tier packages that do the billboards, except they own the Utah ones. That's on site. They own a couple other billboards around as well. So from a business perspective, they're getting everything out of it in a sense, right? Because with billboards and stuff, you go to marketing companies, they cost a lot of money. Whereas if they own the billboards, the money goes straight into their pockets, right? But then what are you getting in return? So like AJ was saying, from a business standpoint too, it's just, it's not great. And then they do offer payment packages as well. But again, you've got to supply liquidity. Now, the other thing I brought up with them is that you can go to SafeMoon Swap. You can paste a BEP20 contract in there and buy it through SafeMoon Swap. So they're still tapped into Pancake's liquidity. So then why do I need to put up 50 grand, 100 grand of liquidity into SafeMoon Swap when I could just buy Bota on there by pasting my contract in there? So that's something I brought up to them as well, right? And they're like, oh, no, because we're going to have the wallet stuff, blah, 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 you know. It's like, okay. And again, no knock to SafeMoon, but everyone's getting sick and tired of the hype, it's coming, we're building this, we're building that, and hopefully by this whole end of March 32 SafeMoon stuff, hopefully they do have something that they've been promising their community for a very long time. But yeah, that's just my point of view from a business point of view, because we are running a business.
Billy Bota, what project are you with?
Billy Bota. I'm with a lot of projects, mate.
Billy Bota is from Bota V2 token. You'd probably recognize them, Sneaky, from Bota Swap. We just listed on them. Bota Swap, we listed it last Saturday, I believe. I know I put announcements out in my community. Definitely, real quick, just to shift gears away from SafeMoon, because I love them, but I've heard more about SafeMoon in my life than I ever care to ever again. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I love them. I definitely do. Anyways, Ushua, let me ask you a question real quick about the crypto assurance.
Yeah.
So in order to have a policy that covers the tokens that you could be potentially trading that are listed on your CRR, what exactly do you have to do? What are the requirements for the crypto coverage?
So the requirements are $250 minimum ShieldCoin holding, and then every 30 days you make another transaction. Based on what kind of coverage or what level of coverage you want, it's a 1-to-20 ratio. So if you buy $100 of insurance as your second transaction, you'll get $2,000 of coverage, and that allows people to kind of really control how much insurance they have based on what they've actually put into crypto writ large. But that 30-day transaction is built into our tokenomics to create consistent volume, so we can build up the reserves in the vault and the team wallet to do additional operations and or to pay claims.
Okay. So if somebody is trying to get additional coverage during their 1 month period, let's say they're 15 days in, they've got that $250 baseline coverage.
Correct.
And they did not make any purchases yet for additional coverage that month. Okay. So they're 2 weeks in and they make a purchase then. How does that how is that handled? That's going to give them additional coverage, and what else is going to happen there?
So the coverage is based on transaction date, and so we can look into the blockchain and see you made the transaction on March 15th. March 15th starts the beginning of a new 30-day contract. If you make another purchase, a second contract is created, a third contract, so forth and so on. So you can have overlapping coverage. So if one expires and two others are in place, they're still in play. And
okay.
You can control it. And if you don't pay for 30 days, it just goes dormant, and then you can reactivate it whenever you're about to do some active investing. So everyone has flexibility. There's no requirements or anything like that. You turn it on, turn it off when you want, and you have it on whatever wallet you want to have the insurance coverage on. And our announcement again Saturday is going to be a little bit different, but it allows more flexibility. And that's as much as I can say now, but that's what we're trying to do, trying to give people more flexibility, particularly for people that hold multiple wallets.
Okay.
So,
real quick, just because this question's like live in the chat right now, or it's a fact. Real quick, EJ, how much have you paid out in BUSD rewards to your holders?
Well, that's a very good question that I have not looked in a few days. Let me.
$1 billion. No, I'm kidding.
Let's find that out real quick. While you're looking that up, Billy Bota, how much have you paid out to your holders in BUSD?
985, just a little bit over at the moment.
$985,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Getting close to $1 million.
Close to $1 million.
Close to $1 million. Yes. As everybody knows in this space, we need volume. We need
great
volume.
job.
That's delicious.
That's amazing, though. That's just about the $1 million mark. That's an amazing feat. EJ, do you have an answer for me, real quick?
Yeah, we've done $1,653,536.25.
Wow.
I had to point that out because that, in my opinion, is one of the craziest numbers I've seen from a BUSD reward token, and they did that in like a month.
You were the quickest to hit 1 million too, right? You hit 1 million within a few days, didn't you?
We hit 1 million in 24 hours. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part, is that we did 7 million in volume in the first 24 hours, and we're over $1 million in BUSD reflection.
Wow.
That's
in the
crazy.
first 24 hours.
Yeah,
I don't know if, I mean, I know our community had got kind of, as many of you guys know, when the big spike, and I get it, because certain people, with the way Pancake sets up, that not everybody can buy at the lowest point, and some people have to buy at the top, and then it obviously will settle. And but we have an amazing community, we really do, and actually the support of everybody that's been around, like we hit those 4,000 holder mark in just a very short period of time, because of the fact that people were so excited about who we are. We build a lot of what we're built on the foundation of integrity, and even with integrity and even with the foundation of honesty and transparency, there can still be things, because you're trading a utility token, that some people can get burnt. And so we tried to do our best. We paid out actually over 1 trillion tokens to some of those people that got caught at the top, because this isn't a matter of us, like we've said before, that it's just about money. It's like, yeah, money's involved, but this is about building something that's bigger, bringing blockchain technology out, getting fiat into BSC. And this is going to be the third time I've said this today, that it stuck with me so much with Chris yesterday. And he's like, somebody asked, what price does your token have to go to that you would give up, or that you would migrate over, or that you would start over? And his answer was 0. I will never give up. It doesn't matter the price. It doesn't matter. The token will always work. Unless something goes wrong with the contract, we're using this token, and that's the plan. I have no desire, no matter what the market cap, no matter what the price, no matter even if there's 2 holders, me and my dad, like, we're still doing this.
I'll tell you what, EJ, I've never bought a token, especially at the all-time high, and had somebody approach me and say, "Hey, let me reimburse you a little bit for that." I think that's just a testament to you and your community and how close everyone is. It's amazing.
It's long term, guys. Like, we're 2 months old, and 1.6 million in rewards in 2 months, and this is the beginning. I mean, we're gonna do stuff, and we have partners that people see all the time that are working with us behind the scenes on the Web3 applications, on the ticketing platform. I mean, we have an amazing team, and we're here every day. Like I said this to you earlier, Mike. I was like, some people think I'm not very accessible. I'm like, I don't know how to be
You're
more
everywhere.
You have my cell phone number. You can text EJ.
All right, I'm gonna ask a general question to every guest. So we're gonna pass it around the room, and we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Brian. Hopefully, we're gonna see what happens here. So the question for everybody is, what does Unite DeFi mean to you? I know a couple of you guys are new onto this panel, but I've seen you in the space, and I know how quickly y'all were to react to jumping on and helping one another and collaborating on something like this. So you guys obviously share the that compassion about having just that action. I'm talking more right now, hoping that Brian's feed frees up. There we go.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just waiting for you to stop. Yeah.
Oh man.
Damn it.
I mean, Glow is the reason that we came up with the Glow is because we want to, be the light in the darkness of DeFi. And the one thing that we're doing is partnering with all these tokens who are not afraid to show their face, show their name, talk with the communities, and let their identities out, let their morals out, and teach people about DeFi. I mean, teach them about the crypto space, show them what's good, because there is a lot of good. I mean, heck, I've been on national television twice talking about there's good in DeFi. I know it's scary, but if everybody unites together, we can make something great. And that's what it really means to me. I mean, we got to come together as a team. We got to show the entire world. I mean, you look at Billy, who's in Australia. I'm not sure. I will never get your name right.
Yeshua.
Yeshua. I'm not sure where you're from, but
I'm from Philly, but I'm living in Kenya right now. So again, we are
I
around
knew
the
you were in a
world.
long time difference or time frame, but this is what we need to do. We need to make it worldwide. We need to come together as a team, compete against each other. Plenty of money in DeFi. There's plenty of money in the crypto space. So it's not a battle. It's how we can unite and bring all of us to bring it to life.
I've got to elect Jeffrey as the shill master. Okay,
He is.
like without a doubt, Jeffrey is the shill master. Okay,
I know he is wearing out. Billy, you got a good one there.
all right, Billy. Same question to you, man. What does Unite DeFi mean to you, and what do you hope to get out of something like this, or the general concept of Unite DeFi?
I think it's good to have friends in this space to start with. It can be very lonely, and not easy to get all email about it, but it can be in this space when you don't have someone to talk to who understands the back end and the stresses. Everyone on the front end, and they come to us and they ask us questions, and even some people who know dev stuff. But until you actually run your own project and you're doing this 7 days a week, non-stop, you just I mean, there's a variance there where you just need someone relatable to talk to. Also, I think being ex-army as well. I know there's a few guys who are ex-military here, and then we've got other communities as well. But we're strength in numbers, and the reality is that there is not going to be not one of us is going to be the best in the number one rewards token, reflection token. And those who are out there saying, "Oh yeah, like we want to be friends with everyone," and blah blah blah, but then we're also going to be the best rewards token, and then this whole crap that goes on with other tokens, right? At the end of the day, I believe in it's what you do, not what you say, right? So those of us just being here, right, being together, and like yourself, Chris, setting this all up, right, is that it's your actions that speak louder than words. And so that's just something too that the community also needs to be very aware of. Like, don't believe the crap that's posted on Twitter, or old mate sitting in his bloody car talking shit. Like, actually get out there and see people do what they are going to say, like do stuff instead of just talk. So that's what I love about DeFi, because we're here to do and we are doing. There you go. Take that. You can take that slogan.
You can pay me for that slogan. Brian, who is EduCan? EduCan. Who is this?
He's a community member. And then I see OG King Fox over there. He is our web developer. He just came to the team. He was part of
Everybody knows who King Fox is. You legitimately don't have to even introduce OG King Fox. He's like more famous than I am. More famous than Atlas is.
I was just looking at the people in the chat right there. But yeah, Edu is one of our community members. Real nice.
Oh, that's hilarious. I used to live not too far from him, but he doesn't know that. I was just stalking him. No. So Yeshua Fox. But Yeshua, go ahead and take the question. Unite DeFi. What does this mean to you, and what do you hope can possibly come from something like this?
Yeah, so for me, it's everyone's bringing something new and unique to this space. We really are building this out. The DeFi space is nowhere near what it's going to be in 10 years, 20 years. And this is basically the foundation. We're deciding what the future is going to look like. And I think having projects that are working together, for us, it's basically making sure that our presence in the space is actually helping other projects to continue to grow as well. For example, with insurance, this is not the end all be all. And again, I talk about it a lot in our AMAs. Money has to flow. If you want to build wealth, money has to move. And insurance is just a step to keep yourself safe while you're making those moves, while you're moving money around, investing in BUSD, investing in Glow, investing in Bota token, investing in EverReflect. You have to keep your money moving, particularly in this space. It moves so quickly. And that's what I think Unite DeFi does. It allows the communities to kind of cross cross communicate. It gets away from that tribalism that I've seen a lot, especially in the early days. And it's not stealing clients from each other. It's people finding different ways to diversify what they're trying to do, make money in different ways. If you have multiple reflection tokens, if one's doing really well and the other one's not, you're still making some money. And that's what passive income is all about.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'll chime in with my answer real quick, just because this person here is pointing it out. I believe solely that bringing these communities together is beneficial to the actual individual holder. I'm a DeFi maxi, but I'm not a single project maxi, not a single one. Diversification is what I'm all about. And you should definitely, that's like the earliest step to risk mitigation in the space is diversify. As well, I think it's important for projects on a project and executive level to work together and to function in a revenue-driven basis. There's a much better chance that you were going to be able to drive revenue for your team and continue to move your project further and not rob from your own liquidity by working through revenue-driven scenarios with other projects. I personally make the most money in my own space through what we do on the back end of things. I don't make any money off the charts or off my tokens themselves. It all comes from directly developing and working with other projects, providing services for them and utilizing each other's use cases. I like to see, Bota swaps on here. I'm sure, is everybody that's on the stage this evening already listed on Bota swap?
No, I'm waiting to hear back from Billy.
Come on, Billy, get it together.
Telegram group chat, mate. And we're gonna hook up with EJ, I think, after the call. But yeah, you see what we've set up a TG group. Just quickly on that though, because we did have a meeting prior to that, and the only thing is, like I've already had a sort of pre-sale launch token list, and it went horrible. And so that's just a risk sort of thing again. And he's very Yeshua, like that's what he's doing with his insurance thing anyway. And that's something, we can relate on as well and be like, hey, they're like, no offense there or anything, or there's no issues there. It's still understandable, especially with new projects and things like that. But that's exactly what he's doing with his insurance plan, and which is new. And just to quickly touch on getting the governments out of it, like in Australia, our government's more innovative with crypto, whereas every country's different. But that's something like if government
more innovative than America's government.
Well, without taxes anyway with crypto. Yeah. Well, anyway. But with that, so again, having someone like Yeshua on board, and to doing that and to try and have a platform where you can say to government representatives like, hey, don't come in here and like squash the industry, and squash all of us, everyday investors and everyday people out of this space, right? Let's work together and do that sort of stuff. So, and I know that's what he's focused on because he's got connections. You got the connections in the
gonna leverage them.
Dave Roberts, screw governments. They suck and don't innovate anything. Tell us how you really feel. Yeah. All right, EJ, what does UniteDeFi mean for you, bud?
I like I'm going last because
you're not. Kevin's going last. Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kevin and then Atlas and Mike are all going to get a chance, bro. You're right in the middle.
Man, if you're not first,
I remove Atlas and I remove Mike from the because they're influencers, right? Like these guys know everybody. They get to meet all the tokens. A lot of us are basically like in our own little bubbles where we're working on our own projects so much. So I love hearing everybody's responses because of that reason that I look up to a lot of these people and a lot of these men that have been in these chats and even, like Crypto Rabbit. There's not as many females that I've met in the crypto space, but it's been a huge advantage to be able to meet some of the resources. And to me, it's like the concept of like John Maxwell's law of the inner circle. If you've ever read any of his like personal development books, and he talks about those concepts of like, you have to constantly improve the level and the quality of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, bring them literally into your inner circle, make them a part of your network, make them a part of the people you build rapport with. And UniteDeFi is doing that for so many of us. And I made my career in entertainment for 20 years because I constantly ended up building better relationships with higher ups, like other CEOs, other talent buyers, other promoters. And that's how you end up growing, because there's never been a point in my life, and I used to say this a lot more in the AMAs at the beginning on for EverReflect, is that I'm not the smartest person in the room. I will never be the smartest person in the room. I want to be able to learn from a lot of these other people, because that's who we need to learn from. I apologize, my dog's going batshit crazy, but I appreciate all you guys, and that's why I don't diss Atlas or Mike. They both know that they're great friends of mine. But the guys that are the devs, that are the project leads for these, you know how often you find yourself, it's like, shoot, it's 10 o'clock. I've been in my own little BSC bubble of just my token for so long. It's so nice to get out and be able to actually converse like a networking event with some other guys that are on other projects.
I think it's your turn, Kev.
Yeah. I was going to wait for Chris to say something.
Okay, so I'll ask a question. Kevin,
Yeah.
what does UniteDeFi mean to you?
Well, I'm glad you asked, EJ. To me, it's everything that you guys have said already to this point. It's what it's doing though is making us accountable to each other, which in turn is making everything safer. I heard my sister-in-law, they're invested in our token, and they were talking about it, and they heard some kids talking about crypto and how it's where scammers go to like funnel money for other mob business. Like, if we can make the space safer, we can legitimize it to the outside world. So by all us working together, again, we hold each other accountable. We will innovate, we'll improve things, and it won't be seen as this weird, crazy corner of the dark web or some nonsense. It'll make it so that people look at this as something that is a viable resource for them. So with UniteDeFi, that's my long-term goal, is to use that to basically make it more adoptable for the general public.
Chris, you
And
still there?
I think Chris is having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Chris got
This
rugged.
happens every
Chris
AMA.
got
I'm
rugged.
going to go ahead and hand this over.
So I'll ask the same question to you, Dirty Mike. What
Yes,
does
sir.
UniteDeFi mean to you?
Well, I got to say that I am honored to finally be on the panel tonight. And what UniteDeFi really means to me is a changing of the guard. You know, we all know that 90% of DeFi projects are going to be gone in a year's time. So,
Right.
you know, by every week there being new tokens and new projects on the panel here, we're just extending our reach with legitimate projects to where, you know, over the next year or two, next thing you know, most of the projects that are out there are going to be, you know, the legitimate ones, and, you know, have gotten rid of those, you know, crap coins and all the Inu coins out there, and, you know, all the rug pulls and scams. And, you know, then it's going to be replaced with all the legitimate projects like everyone on the panel here who are holding everybody accountable and, you know, moving this space forward. So, you know, that's what it means to me, is just a changing of the guard to, you know, legitimacy and accountability for everybody who's involved with it, for sure.
Great answer.
Thank you.
So finally, I would like to go with the eldest member of our group, who's been here for ages, decades, going back to the history and the beginning of crypto, Mr. Atlas. What does UniteDeFi
Good thing you didn't say Chris, because he just vanished.
He's gone.
I
He rugged
figured I was gonna have to pick up his slack like always.
Yeah. So hopefully he comes back here in just a little bit. Maybe his battery died or something. But you know, we'll carry this on, and hopefully he'll be here very soon. Anyways, to answer the question, the way that I look at it is that when we're dealing with cryptocurrency, it's the transfer of money from one location to another, right? If anyone is going to come in and invest in any of your projects, where is the origin? The origin comes from fiat. And what you're building out is essentially troubleshooting solutions to the fiat versions of things that currently exist, right? We're finding out these avenues that is, when you look at fiat, you look at also hard precious metals, gold, for example. There's just intrinsically too many flaws with this design. It leads to things like hyperinflation, entire economies collapse, wash, rinse, repeat, and it's just not a very strong design system. So by utilizing cryptocurrency, utilizing the speed, the velocity, the transparency of elements that comes into play with cryptocurrency, unifying DeFi is the objective goal where everything can start to communicate with one another. And we need to be able to have that happen so that when you're providing services with one location, money will flow out of that into something else. And we got to make sure that it flows seamlessly. So although we have each got, well, you guys have each of your own independent businesses, at some point, money will leave your business and flow into something else. How does these projects start to communicate more and more with one another? Building those kinds of relationships will strengthen everyone's business and will strengthen just the stability of a market in general. And that's the way that I look at it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that we got so many different perspectives on that simple question. So I'm going to obviously take over the role of Chris for a few minutes, but because he's gone, I want to take advantage of something that we probably don't get to do when he's in the room. I think everybody should go around the room and let's say one thing that I feel personally why it's been a blessing that he's actually brought this group together week after week with UniteDeFi. I think one of the most amazing aspects that I want to acknowledge about Chris himself is the fact that he is such a giving person, like of his time, that there's so often that he will answer questions, take phone calls, and do projects that above and beyond, even if it's stuff, there's a lot of core things he believes in, but the fact that he takes his time and will even have a conversation with projects that he'll end up moving on from, I really admire that about him. And I'm glad that he's kind of helped be kind of the leader and spearhead a lot of this UniteDeFi, I guess you could call it campaign, but like almost like mission. And it's growing into a much bigger vision.
Yeah. I'll jump in actually right after you. For me, Chris, I don't know if you all know how me and Chris met. I was a part of the MetaBusd community, just writ large. I would just sit there, always tweeting, always commenting, whatever the case may be. And I reached out to him, and he actually responded. And I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to do this project. I have an idea. I know the insurance side of it, but I need support on the contract side." And Chris was he was like, "All right." He was like, "I'll help out. I'll do this." He was like, "I want to see who you are as a person." And we talked a few times. And every person he's recommended to come join the team afterward has been phenomenal. And that allows me to trust not just him as a contract developer, but as a person. He really does care about this space, and he really does help it grow. And he's bringing more people in every day. So, yeah, we wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, to add to that, the other thing that he does as well with this roundtable is he helps to humanize these projects as well. He helps a lot of people see that there are real people behind these things, putting their heart and soul into their projects. It's not just some random token you see from a drop down that you're about to spend some BNB on. So it gives a face to these projects and gets us all together to see that we're all just people trying to make something better. So to humanize that for everyone is a pretty valuable thing.
Yeah, I agree with you're saying, Kevin. It absolutely does humanize everybody to, get up here and just, talk about regular issues that we all deal with. But it's cool because, the way he structures it to where you have influencers, you have, token owners, to where everybody, you get different perspectives of the same issue. And I think you learn something new every time, you're on this, or every time you watch it. Like, man, I never knew that about this token or about this project. So it's all about education, That's what I think it's great for.
For me as a content creator, I've been shifting a little bit more how the style of just my channel is being progressively moved forward. And whereas before I was either doing the Safe Moon content with very rarely, occasionally doing some coverage on some other token, I'm now coming into an opportunity here where, especially with the last couple months, just briefly speaking on Safe Moon, because it's my audience largely, right? And I've got a live stream going on here, is that there's been a lot of stress and animosity inside of the community space. And I've been trying to be very vocal and showing the same sort of perspective views as members of the Safe Moon team have been publicly stating, which is that, we need to be united together. We shouldn't be trying to bash on other people's projects. You shouldn't be taking those kinds of routes. And by me having such a degree of sort of impact inside the space with the videos that I do, having opportunities like this, I feel helps reinforce that kind of mission statement, where I can be able to make videos thanks to the help with Chris and organizing all of this stuff, to have amazing people like you guys come on and be able to have you communicate your projects to my audience. So now outside of this, I've now transitioned even more, where I have other videos that I can bring on members of their own team to come on and then sort of do a podcast style. And I find it to be very fun. So Chris setting all of this up has had multiple impacts on me personally, and I very much do enjoy doing these.
Anyone
Brian,
else?
You want to go first, Brian?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry, I was reading the email just then.
We were going, because of the fact that MetaCaptain got kicked out, his internet is obviously the same provider as yours. We wanted you to give us the craziest late night story that you and MetaCaptain had. Something about I think it was like Nashville, summer of 2017.
Oh, that's what it is.
Some ponies were involved. I don't know the full story.
Hey, there's a non-disclosure on that one as well.
I get it. I get it. No, just some props out to Chris, because he obviously puts this all together and he got kicked out. But we wouldn't be here if it hadn't originated kind of as his brainchild. So
yeah, it's nice getting to meet all y'all. I'm very grateful for coming here. Love talking about Glow V2, and I love learning about other projects. Can't wait to actually get to reach out to you, EJ, Kevin, Dirty Mike, Atlas, and
ShieldCoin.
I'm never gonna get it right ever.
It happens all the time. It's basically Joshua with a Y. It's the same name.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, Joshua Jesus, same name.
But getting to
there he is. There we go. Those beautiful locks.
I know. I'm jealous. His hair's even longer than mine.
Well, on that note, we will end this section. Nope, Billy, you still have to go.
Hey, oh yeah, no, I'm just saying the same thing, man. Like, bring us all together. We can have chats, talk. I love to do these more often too, just even privately, so we can, talk about stuff that we can't talk about publicly, which we all know we'll have a lot more fun doing, I think. But somebody in the chat actually said on the live stream too, projects taking different perspectives, and also being able to take, receptive, constructive criticism stuff. And I think having these roundtables and having just interactions with each other as well, you've got to be open to that feedback as well, and having each other. And again, the CryptoAtlas and CryptoMike here as well, so they're also part of it. Like, their voice matters as well. But also with us crypto developers and people behind the scene, we can say, hey, have you thought about this, or these ideas you thought about? Like, I've reached out to Kevin about his sort of B-Kit thing and just sort of said, hey, is this something that you might be looking to do in the future? Obviously had chats with Brian and stuff, and chat with Chris. So yeah, it's the sort of stuff we can do together as well. And yeah, thanks to Chris for bringing us all together. Because it wouldn't be possible without him bringing it together and making us all friends.
Yeah, we took over the questions, and everybody started talking about you. So you're probably going to want to go back and review this last 15 minutes there, Captain. There's going to be some stuff that you'll like. There's going to be some stuff that got shared that we weren't supposed to disclose. and there's just going to be some fun. If he's back, maybe he's not back.
His picture's back. He's not back.
He was there for a second.
Chris, you got your mic muted?
You're a ding.
Well, he's working on that. So I'm going to go ahead and prompt another question. I know we're running pretty lengthy in here, Chris. When he comes back, I don't know if he'll have any other specific questions or if we just kind of start rolling in towards the exit point. EJ, maybe Chris, if you can hear me, if you're trying to communicate anything with us, you can do it in the private chat here or, message EJ or something. But my general question that I have for you guys in the meantime is that the whole idea of doxing a team, obviously we can see you guys.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
To dox or not to dox? That is the question, right? So the moving forward of this industry space, what are your guys' thoughts, opinions, anything you want to kind of touch on that topic?
I'll jump in first. I think doxing is very important. I mean, if you're going to ask people to put their money and their trust in you, you should be willing to show them who you are. I know there's a few tokens like Bitcoin that no one knows who founded it and who started it, but it does also run completely autonomous. A lot of our projects, they're real businesses moving in this space. You should know who you're dealing with, and if something happens or goes wrong, you should know who to look to for the answer. An undoxed team is basically a way to, in my opinion, to cop out. If things go bad, you can cut your losses and just move on. If you're really doxed and people know who you are, someone's going to see you walking around the streets. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, it brings more legitimacy to the space, and I think that's very important.
Yeah, it's another level of accountability for sure. Like you said, people are going to be investing their money into you. I think it's the least that you can do is, put your face behind, your project and your coin. I mean, if you're not willing to put your face behind something and just hide behind an avatar, what's to say about your project, honestly.
Oh yeah. And, I completely agree. It's always good to dox. I mean, I want not only myself, but I want my whole team to, get credit for the progress that we make. So I want the world to know the efforts that we put into the project. I mean, we work 7 days a week, most of the time, 20 hours a day. We want people to see who is actually the face behind building the project. It ain't just me. I mean, I got a whole team of people. So I say, dox yourself, dox your team, and let them receive the benefits of what's actually being done behind the token. Let them get recognition. I know it's a different perspective, but I mean, they deserve the recognition as well. If it was up to me, I'd have my whole team up here because, I mean, we have a good time, fun chat. I mean, come join us one day.
Legitimately, I will say that like Kimmy has been like one of the nicest, coolest people in the entire world. I don't know who Kimmy is, but like,
she's absolutely amazing. She is super great. She is one of our core team members. I would say she has a certain role, but she kind of does everything. She is a master of all arts.
I want to also say that I think doxing is definitely important from a perspective as far as the business, and obviously like, getting into some of the whole aspects of tokenomics, and that is a whole one factor of this. But the other factor is like, I can't be myself without you guys knowing who I am and building real rapport and joking around, and like true personality and colors come through. And it's like, going back to what I was saying about like surrounding myself with like people that I'm encouraged by. I want to be able to show who my true colors are. Like, I would have a hard time ever doing another project simply because you guys all know personally that doxing is also like saying, I'm just committing to basically giving away a bunch of my free time and dedication to this project to be at almost the beck and call of a community. And sometimes it almost might feel like to a lot of community members that they're like, where's EJ been? Or why aren't you in these chats? It's like, we all know personally, like, just because I'm not in Telegram doesn't mean I'm not on Twitter, or that I'm not actually on a phone call, or that I'm not on Zoom, or that I'm not on Teams, or that I'm not on Twitter, or that I'm not on Discord, or that I'm not on Community. Like, even that, I couldn't even get it all out in one sentence. And so it's a big responsibility. I think you can't take it on unless you have the proper mindset and that you're ready to do it. And so from a community perspective, I say, respect all these men, because they've done this and they are taking a lot of weight on their shoulders. And then for all the other people out there watching that want to take on a token project and that they're thinking, I'm going to dox myself and that it is the right thing to do, I 100% agree. Make sure you're prepared for it, because you do need to have a lot of time allocated to make sure you build rapport with these members, because they're real people and they are actually putting a lot of their hard work or their hard earned money into these things to help support us to build projects that in a lot of ways are our dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I only doxed because I didn't want to deprive the world of all this.
That's a billboard I want to see.
Yeah.
I wanted to let you know, because you mentioned Telegram, I have started a White House petition to take Telegram down and burn it to the ground forever. I hope it catches traction and it happens very sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I absolutely hate TG more than anything, almost.
Yeah, we're trying to move to the Discord because of the fact so many people can just replicate your Telegram. And I mean,
yeah,
we have the lowest holder count of all the Glow token LLCs out there.
Hey, Dirty Mike, how many EJs have messaged you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that right now. You know what I'm talking about. Thanks for bringing that back up to me. But yes, there have been plenty of EJs that have messaged me. So yeah, it's definitely not good. If it's okay, guys, I would like to take this moment to make a little bit of an announcement, if it's okay with you guys.
Let's go. What do you got,
no
man?
Issues.
All right. So to this point, you guys have known me as a friend and an influencer, but now you guys are going to get to know me as a token owner as well. This is the official announcement of the Wanker token. So, yes. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. We're going to be launching in the next month or so. It's a BSC token. We're going to start with a 20,000 market cap. We're burning 65% of it. It's going to be a low tax token with 3% BUSD back to the community. Liquidity is locked. Team tokens are vested, and the primary purpose of the Wank token is to provide a state-of-the-art engagement platform which matches services between crypto development teams and content creators, blockchain developers, and web designers. So essentially think of like a Fiverr type service. So I know from talking with a lot of you guys and working with a lot of you guys personally that one of the main issues is, you know, when you guys want to find some promotion from your token, it's hard to find an influencer, especially one that, you know, falls within your budget. So we're going to create a safe platform for people to where tokens can shop for different services they need and get to both, you know, work within their budget and find the right match for themselves. So I know my team has been, I am working with a great team, and I wanted to, they were waiting on this announcement so we could officially open up the community. It's going to be wankertoken.com, WANCHOR token.com. So I just wanted to officially join the ranks of you guys and make that announcement to you guys today.
Congrats, man. Now, Mike, can you do us a favor? Can you update your little handle here so for the remainder of this broadcast, we can see the name of your token?
Absolutely. Let me do that right now.
Now clarify. Wait. One question as well. I apologize, but so your screen name is going to be Dirty Wanker?
My screen name is
No. What I get?
No, we're gonna stick with Dirty Mike because I'm still gonna be doing all the same stuff I normally do. So I still will have that identity as well. But yeah, thank you for bringing that down into the gutter, EJ.
Yeah, don't let your son call you that.
Well, yeah, that was exactly his. But yeah, I won't let him call me that. He's called me worse, so for sure. He's at that age for sure. So Yeah, I just updated a wanker token right there for you guys. So we're going to be doing a stealth launch. So definitely look out for the community. And I'm definitely excited for all the long nights ahead.
But I got a question. How are we
Yeah.
going to see the community if it's stealth?
Oh, you're going to be able to see the community. The launch itself is going to be stealth.
I'm just messing with you.
I know you are.
Is that private sale and then stealth launch?
Yes, the private sale has actually just been completed. So we are not going to be doing a pre-sale for it. So there may be a couple spots that kind of trickle in and out within the community. So, primarily it is going to just be a stealth launch. Most people will get their first chance to purchase at launch. And we're going to start with a 20,000 market cap and, keep it kind of small. And we're definitely excited for things to come because, like I said, I know from talking with a lot of you guys personally that, finding, the right type of representation, whether you need a website developed or, you need some graphic design work done or, an influencer that you can actually afford, this
All right,
will
I'm gonna
definitely
cut through this real quick because we're so low on time, but I'm gonna just you walked yourself into this, so we know how this stuff goes. I get inquisitive pretty quickly. So it's a private sale. You finished your private sale. That's over. That's done with. How much BNB did you raise? What are you doing with that BNB? Is that BNB going directly to the liquidity pool?
Yeah, most of it is going to the liquidity pool for sure. As EJ knows, you got to protect the pool. Finally got to bring that in there. Hashtag protect the pool.
What's most of it? 70%?
Yes. 70% is going towards that. Yes.
All right, 70% is going to go directly to liquidity pool, and you guys are going to have how much supply?
It is going to be. It started off as a quadrillion, but we have burned 65% of it. So at launch, you will have a 350 trillion circulating supply.
And how much of that's going to Pancake?
Oh, you know what? I do not have some of the technical numbers.
No, you're fine. That's fine. Yeah, good answer. All right, sorry guys. I wanted to run through that real quick. I like to know those answers whenever I'm looking at stuff. Anyways, I apologize. Good things back.
Thank you guys for giving me that opportunity. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
And
To the
good
jungle.
luck, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck. Absolutely. It's always exciting to see anything new in the space. And, I always hope anybody the best of luck with any project that they're doing. It's a huge undertaking. And I think everybody talked about it earlier. I think for most people, they don't quite understand how much of an undertaking it is. I know Brian is going to have to fly to New York in a few minutes. Is this right?
Yeah, I think I get to sleep for about 2.5 hours, and then I got to fly to New York.
Okay. And I know Yusha has been up since really early, and this has gone on a little bit longer than what usually goes on. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up.
Yeah.
I'm going to give everybody a quick opportunity to give your quick shout out to anything that you want to give a shout out to. Mine's going to be pretty simple. I want to say thank you to all of you guys and anybody who's interested in helping with MBC and our development. We do have an amazing NFT series that is live right now. These NFTs do offer additional whitelist spots for future NFT lines that will come directly from the MBC ecosystem. Again, it's primarily just helping with further development within our VR platform. Nothing cutting edge or breaking there, but amazing artwork, beautiful PFPs. They've gone over really well. And if anybody's interested, NBCRangers.com. I'm going to pass it over to Brian.
Biggest shout out. I want to thank, thank you for allowing me to come on here. I want to thank the Glow B2 community for their support. This letter I got today, I almost teared up from the letter received from the charity from Prevent Child Abuse. So that was amazing. Y'all stay tuned. We have our NFT line coming out. We have our swap coming out. We have a game coming out. We got a bunch of stuff that's about to roll out. So, keep tuned in to Glow.
Your game that's coming out, is this a 2D arcade style play to earn?
Yeah, it's just an arcade style play to earn, just something fun to mess around with.
Awesome. I can embed that into a VR world for you. We'll talk about it. Anyways,
All right.
let's move on over to Billy.
All right. I'd like to thank the Academy. Like to thank.
Don't make me
Don't
slap
slap
you.
me.
Don't make me
Don't
slap
me.
you, man.
Just yeah, don't talk about my wife. Anyway, so thank you everyone for having me on, and thanks Chris for organizing this. And it's really great to network and meet with everyone. So yeah, just with Bota V2. So we're having a birthday month in April. So we're gonna have a lot of competitions, giveaways, do lots of cool things. We've got our Bota swap, like I said, and we're listing other tokens. So we're listing 3 more tokens this week. And we've got one that's pretty big already been existing, which is French Connection token. We've got DFS Mafia Boys coming on. And then we've got another one, which is a pretty big meme token, but we haven't officially announced that yet. So that's coming up this week. And then we've got future developments for our yield farm NFTs and things like that. Got a charity NFT that we're doing with Glow. But yeah, other than that, it's just great to network, talk to other people, talk to other guys. So yeah, really appreciative that being able to come on here and just talk and have fun.
Well, and you guys had like the biggest listing ever already. Y'all listed MetaBusdCoin recently. And
Yes, yes, we've listed MetaBusd, and then BSD buffers in here too. So.
You're not going to be able to reach higher heights than that, my friend.
Oh no, it's been great.
Maxed out already. You sure? How about you?
Yeah, UP.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Of course, this is my first UniteDeFi chat. It won't be the last for sure. But really, this space is changing, and basically, if you're watching this now or down the road, if you are investing in DeFi, if you want insurance before you start moving around the space, definitely stop by ShieldCoin. We definitely have a great community. If you haven't been in our Discord, I'm always there to chat. Chris is there to chat. Luca, we're always here to answer questions, and we're really about building up this space. So, hey, we're always open, and keep an eye out for our announcement on Saturday.
Nice, Mike.
Yes, I want to thank you, Chris, for extending the invitation to join you tonight. I've been a fan of this since the beginning, and I have definitely tried as best I can to spread the word about this to as many groups as I can, because I truly think that this is the beginning of something absolutely huge in DeFi, and together we can just keep increasing just awareness and legitimacy of all these projects, and just really clean out the space for sure. Brian, I wanted to reach out to you after this as well, because I know you're involved in the charity work. I was planning on doing a little something for Christmas called Dirty Mike's Christmas, and I'd like to get with a lot of different tokens to kind of raise some awareness and some money for different charities and children for around Christmas time. So I'd like to definitely get with you after this and see if we can get a couple projects on board with this as well.
9 months. 9 months is like 20 years in DeFi.
I know. I just wanted to get it out there right now.
Okay, because Brian will do 15 other things from now till then.
True.
So I'm gonna go with Atlas. I'm gonna leave EJ and Kevin for last. So I'll make a little announcement for those guys.
Well, thank you very much, Chris, for hosting. I know you disappeared for a little bit, and then we pulled you back in, and that's how this stuff typically can go from time to time, right? But I very much appreciate that you're giving me an opportunity to come in and be a part of these experiences as well. For anybody that's watching that maybe isn't watching through my stream right now, if you guys would like to come and check out my channel, it is CryptoAtlas. And I've been working with a lot of projects recently, doing some giveaway stuff over on Twitter. So it creates opportunities with whitelists or getting them set up with nodes or tokens, all that kind of stuff. And I'm working on trying to figure out more ways that we can keep progressively doing that and really help reinforce this whole idea of unifying DeFi. So I am not just the SafeMoon guy, although I do like SafeMoon and I do cover it. I also like a lot of other stuff, and this space continues to evolve and be innovative. And that was one of the reasons why I was so drawn to SafeMoon, is there was something new to it that just piqued my interest. And then I dived down those rabbit holes, right? So I mentioned this during the last roundtable, but I will hopefully have the full details ready to be able to share in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I have an NFT series that I am premiering in the near future, and I've been working on this behind closed doors for several months. And I am not just trying to launch something that's an aesthetic. I have been working diligently on finding the new spaces that we're moving forward with and to bring something that will truly have some incredible backing behind it. And so the desirability for this, I am hoping for the best, and I'm quite excited to really share those details for everyone here when the time comes. And yeah, thank you again so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem at all. All right, I'm gonna let Kevin and EJ take over the floor. I wanted to just point out that these guys really are like my bread and butter as far as just the everyday teamwork stuff for the Unite DeFi. We do a lot more behind the scenes to actually facilitate growth in between smaller projects. Some projects that aren't even, necessarily ever been made it up to these roundtables. There's just not enough space, like I get inundated with people requesting to come on. And, even if we're not bringing them on stage necessarily every single week or anything, we're all directly working with these teams and these projects to provide them upward momentum in this space. I think we've all been involved long enough to know that it's hard. It's really difficult. Everything that you do is a challenge. It's marketing is different. Development is different. People's standards and expectations constantly shift and change. Last season, people were very patient. This season, not at all. If you're not quickly moving every single day on upward momentum and providing new products quickly, you're dying. And there's a lot that new teams, especially coming into the space, just need to be helped with. And these guys, they work with me on a daily basis on either true development or just general brainstorming about how we can change it and make it better. And in general, moving forward, all of these roundtables, they're going to continue to come on board and co-host these with me. But as well, we're working in the background on a few other solid ventures to truly actually help and expand the opportunities for people, and not just new projects, but already established ones that need that additional assistance, that aren't sure where to go and like where to reach that guidance. Just giving our experience and as well as other executives within the space, such as all these guys that are sitting here tonight and many other people that we've had on, using that bank of knowledge to really help one another grow their projects in the directions that they want it to go. And long story short, these guys are better than anyone I know, truly encompass the same goals that I have. And I love having them on board and being a part of my team. Guys, before I give the floor over to you, I want to go over one other thing real quick. ShieldCoin is theshieldcoin.com. Billy Bota, what is your website?
It's BotaToken.app, which is what's going to end up being our main website. So if everyone can go there, that'd be great.
Awesome. Brian, what is Glows?
Glowtoken.net.
Glowtoken.net with a little bit of twang. Glowtoken.net. Yeah. All right, guys. How about you, EJ? Take the floor for me.
I mean, that's why I'm so happy that you got kicked out of the room for a little bit so we could just kind of talk about you. But it's, you are like a brother to me. So I really just appreciate that you're in my life in general. But with that relationship, it's so cool. Kind of what Billy had said earlier about like having kind of the same kind of mindset. Chris, Kevin, and we talk every day. And honestly, Dirty Mike and Atlas and I speak with all those guys very consistently. I talk to Mike every day.
Yeah.
Ushua, Billy, Brian, like I'm humbled once again to just be able to have the opportunity to get to meet you guys. Like he does such a good job. And I know it's not just because it's Unite DeFi or because we're on, this could happen and it not be broadcast onto YouTube and it would still be the same kind of dialogue. Like I'm so encouraged, but you guys are like reading a good book or watching a good movie, just being able to have the conversations and listening to you. I respect it so damn much because there's so many good people that come into these groups, and every week I'm amazed. And then every week we have another one and I'm blown away again. And I'm not saying that the other guys in the group, because they're my friends, that they're not nearly as like impressive, but the three of you tonight blew me away. Like you charities, Usually you're in Kenya. Like I've traveled to Africa multiple times. Your internet's better than anybody's. Like, and then,
Yeah, seriously.
and then
His camera's spot on.
And then Billy's talking about what even the concepts of SurTech and like everything that you're doing. Like you don't take those steps unless you're serious about your project. And every single one of you guys did something like that. That's like, damn, that's good. I wish, maybe we'll do that for EverReflect, or maybe we'll get you guys involved so that we can learn how you guys did it. And I know that my community probably gets annoyed and thinks that I'm lying, that I say that I'm so humbled and so blessed all the time. There's no other way that I can look at this other than just be thankful that I get to meet people like you. And so thank you.
They might have better internet for Brian in Africa. Just throwing that out there.
Apparently so. I mean, I knew I lived in the country, but I didn't realize it was this bad.
All right, Kevin, lead us out, bud.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hard to follow that. Yeah, this has just been awesome. To what EJ was saying, when I got into all this, I was just an idiot with an idea, and to be guided along, Chris was absolutely instrumental in me getting things going. And what he's trying to do that for everybody, and that is something that I don't know if anybody's ever going to appreciate fully what he puts into everything he does, and majority of it for other people. There's nothing more to say. That's it. He puts all of himself into DeFi, and it's mostly for other people.
Yeah.
The good thing is like, again, I don't like it's just for the space. Like, and like you guys know that, like, I think half the people on this stage has paid me, and I don't think I've ever done anything with your payments. I might have moved stuff around once or twice or something like that, or like, flush stuff one way to another place like you do in DeFi. But other than that, I've never done anything with it. It's not for the money. Like, it's just one of those things that I want to see this space succeed for other reasons. I'm a firm believer that we drag ourselves out of the mud. That's how we do this.
Yep. You're doing a great job, Chris. Yeah. And I just want to thank you for putting this, panel together every week, every other week. And it's going to be huge, guys.
Dude, how is Brian getting a lot of love on his beard? Like, do people?
You're always hiding, Chris.
Anyways. All right, guys. Thank you all very much for joining me this evening. I love having these conversations, and I'll continue to have everybody on. I'm upset that we didn't see more of Bota tonight. Brody. I'm sorry we didn't see more of Brody this evening.
You didn't? How did you not see enough? Like I'm surprised he didn't come, because he does come to your voice for some reason.
I have a beautiful voice. All righty, guys. Thank you all very, very much. Have a great evening. And yeah, we'll be back here. I'm actually going to be back on next week because some really exciting stuff happened with another team that we've had on, and they're going to come on and talk about it. So everybody stay tuned next week.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Good night.
Thank you.
OG's trying to get me to shake